Tomorrow is another debate, and you better bet I'm going to be online for this one. I will actually be talking about it live. Well, I'm not going to be live, but it'll be available on Wednesday. Hopefully, I can get Dave, the author of the Dave Rule, involved in this one, and we can talk like we did last time. This could be the most important debate because what happens in South Carolina, which is on this weekend, is going to define the nomination. Is going to define who gets nominated. But it's also going to be a lot of fun based on the last debate. I expect the candidates are going to tear each other apart. But everyone is going to need to change the strategy for this one. Let's talk about it in this shortened podcast. This is Gene, and you're listening to Dumbasses Talking Politics. Woo! I am looking forward to the crap show that is going to be tomorrow's debate. I cannot lie. I am ready for it. I am ready to go. But here's the thing. I think you're going to see a lot of loss of candidates after South Carolina. If Joe Biden doesn't come in first, Joe Biden is done. If Elizabeth Warren doesn't make any kind of impact in South Carolina, she could be done. I think this is going to be a very important primary. And I think, essentially, I don't think anyone's going to make that kind of dent in South Carolina. Right now, Biden is ahead in South Carolina, but there's just no energy. So tomorrow's debate's going to be kind of important. So let's talk about tomorrow's debate. The candidates are going to have to do something wild and crazy. They're going to have to concentrate on the front runner, which is Bernie Sanders. One of the reasons Bernie Sanders did not do terribly, he didn't do great, but he didn't do terribly in last week's debate, is that it was only Mike Bloomberg that hit Sanders. But Mike Bloomberg hit Sanders hard. Everyone else was hitting the irrelevant candidates. So it wasn't really good. Warren hit Bloomberg. Amy hit Mayor Pete. Mayor Pete hit Warren. Mayor Pete hit Amy. And Biden was stuttering corpse. So everyone, basically Bernie Sanders won the debate yesterday because he did not get attacked. I know everyone is saying that Elizabeth Warren won last week's debate. She did not win last week's debate. She did not move herself forward in any way, and that showed in Nevada after the vote, and I'm guarantee you it's going to show after South Carolina if she doesn't do the right thing. Also, when attacking a candidate, attack the candidate that is in your lane. And what do I mean by that? Each candidate has a base, except Mayor Pete, who doesn't seem to have any base. He wants to be a moderate, but he is a radical. So you need to attack the candidate so that you can get the votes from that candidate during these caucuses and these primaries. So let's take a look what I mean. Warren is a leftist. She is not a moderate. She's now trying to make herself a moderate, which is always a bad idea, and that basically is the end of her campaign. She needs to steal from Bernie's base. Going to be very hard to steal from Bernie's base. And she's been trying, and she failed. And so she needs to stop. But if she wants to go anywhere, because regular people see her as a radical. She's not seen as a moderate. She's seen as a leftist. If she's now going to decide, you know what, I'm not going to be a leftist anymore, I'm going to be a moderate, too late. You're done. You're done. Get out of the race. Make it up for you when you're 108 years old and run again like Biden does. But she will be done. Her best bet is still going to be attacking Bernie because she's still seen as a leftist. And to be honest with you, a lot of her speeches, she's still acting like a leftist. So I don't know why she's trying to change a strategy. Bloomberg is a moderate. He should be attacking Bernie on his policies, and he should be attacking Biden on his record. He attacks Bernie to make him look like the old communist fart that he is, and make him look crazy. And he should attack Biden to steal whatever votes Biden still has. Klobuchar, who is also a moderate, should do the same thing. She should be attacking Bernie. She should be attacking Biden. And ignore Buttigieg. He's worthless. Buttigieg is done in this election. She destroyed him in the last debate. So that's finished. Mayor Pete's biggest problem is he's too polished. He's too robotic. He can't ad-lib at all. So when Amy Klobuchar just throws a zinger at him, he just kind of gets that look. He starts looking up in the air. He doesn't know what to say. I think what Mayor Pete needs to do tomorrow is come out on stage in blue jeans, steel-toed boots, and a 2x4 and lay some wood the second the debate starts, because that's the only way he's going to gain any legitimacy. Right now, he looks like a wuss, and I think he's going to, I hate to say this, it's not hate speech, I don't mean this in a hate speech way, but him being gay and being married to another man is not going to help him in the Midwest. Not going to help him in the Bible Belt. And a lot of people, shockingly, don't know that he is gay and that he has a male husband. So, he's kind of in trouble. Mike Bloomberg also has to act like a man. He can't wait an hour again to get into the fight. Start tearing things up. If Elizabeth Warren attacks him, he should call her chief and remind her she's a congenital liar who has never created one job in her career. And if Bernie decides to do something, say something, he should remind Bernie of that. He really threw, in the last debate, Bernie under the rug. That last time when he sat there and said, this is a communist, a socialist who's got 3 homes. Bernie didn't even know how to respond. Bernie's big question is always, well, I do, what about your home? Yeah, well, he's worth $60 billion for a reason. He's an entrepreneur. He's ran a successful business. He's hired hundreds of thousands of people. Bloomberg needs to remember that. And he needs to remember this when they attack him on his record, like stop and frisk and redlining. He needs to attack and stop being such a puss and go for it. And then all of them need to do the same thing with Bernie Sanders, because Bernie Sanders gives them such ammunition to take him down. If the Democratic Party wanted Bernie Sanders out, it would only take one debate, because just listen on some things he's said in the last couple of weeks.
We're very opposed to the authoritarian nature of Cuba. But it's unfair to simply say everything is bad. When Fidel Castro came into office, you know what he did? He had a massive literacy program. Is that a bad thing? Even though Fidel Castro did it?
There's a lot of dissidents imprisoned in Cuba.
That's right, and we condemn that. Unlike Donald Trump, let's be clear, I do not think that Kim Jong-un is a good friend. I don't trade love letters with a murdering dictator. Vladimir Putin, not a great friend of mine.
Today, we got 500,000 people sleeping out on the streets of America. Today, we have 18 million families paying 50% of their limited incomes for housing. Today, we have hundreds of thousands of bright young people who cannot afford to get a higher education. Today, we have 45 million people paying a student debt that many of them cannot afford to pay. So what our campaign is about, and what our administration will be about, is rethinking America, understanding that all of our people, when I say all, I also mean the undocumented in this country. That all of our people are entitled to basic human rights.
And this is Bernie Sanders' Achilles heel. He's insane. He wants to destroy the United States. He wants open borders. He praises communist dictators. Now let's remember something about Donald Trump when it comes to this thing. Donald Trump, yes, he said some nice things about Kim Jong-un, but he also threatened Kim Jong-un. Remember at the UN? Remember, Kim Jong-un, my button is bigger than yours. And then everyone was screaming he was going to start World War III, which supposedly he's tried to start like 8 times since his presidency started 3 years ago. So, I don't want to hear. It's very different what Trump's doing. And yes, he cajoles people. But this is the crap Bernie Sanders. I mean, I'm not even bringing up I wish I had the time to put together a little Bernie Sanders thing. Him singing the Russian national anthem on his honeymoon in Moscow. Him saying how great bread lines were in Cuba. This guy is a disaster. He doesn't love the United States. He thinks the United States is the worst thing in the world, and he wants to fundamentally change it. That is a great thing to attack if you're a Democrat. And that's what they need to do. All of the candidates need to attack Bernie Sanders and question him on his past statements. They need to question him on his policies, which are also just completely unreasonable, and his beliefs. For example, no one has questioned Bernie Sanders about him wanting to nationalize the banking system, wanting to nationalize the energy system. That's what he's wanted to do. He's a full-fledged communist. And now and the other thing is, how is he planning to pay for these plans? He wants Medicare for all. He wants all student loan debt. Attack him on this stuff. He doesn't have any answers. He's going to look like an absolute loon bag. Finally, Joe Biden needs to stop drooling all over the podium. That's all he can. Again, he's dead. Why he still has drool in his mouth, I don't know. But, I mean, he's there, and he's just kind of, I mean, if Bernie Sanders won the last debate because he did not seem to get hit a lot, Joe Biden must look great. No one's even bothering hitting him up. So that's what's going to happen with the debate tomorrow. Hopefully we have a good... I'm worried about the economy. There are 2 ways that President Trump is going to lose this next election. The first way is the economy. Right now, the Dow Jones took a header today. Lost 1,000 points. Now, it didn't lose 1,000 points on purpose. As a matter of fact, to be honest with you, screw the companies that lost money today. Because those companies were the ones that ended up in Hong Kong and China and outsourcing their deals. Apple lost like 4% of their stock today. Dell, anybody who manufactures in China got killed today. So, again, we're not looking at a recession, but now all these guys, and this is why I absolutely hate the Dow Jones. I hate speculation. Speculation shouldn't determine an economy. It really shouldn't. It does kind of make sense if you go out there and you manufacture someplace else and you don't have that cell phone to sell because China closed the factory, Apple, which is why you should buy a Samsung, which is, by the way, they closed those too. And then suddenly you don't have money trading around. Yeah, I can see that. But I think there is call it here first. The coronavirus might save the United States in the long run. Okay? Even though we see an immediate impact on our economy now. The coronavirus might save us because some of these companies may say, screw it, we need to do this in the United States. How many people have died from the coronavirus in the United States? Oh, that's right, 0. How many have died in China? Well, from what we know, it's over 10,000. It's probably closer to 20 to 30,000. And we're going to have to talk about the coronavirus. I'm not going to do it tonight because this is going to be a real short one. I just don't feel like doing this tonight because we did it yesterday. But it's looking like the coronavirus might have been China's problem in the first place. The bastards. So tomorrow we're going to have the debate. We're going to have the debate live. We're going to go for at least 30 minutes, probably an hour. I'm hoping to get Dave online. Don't bother going to dumbassestalkingpolitics.com. I do not have show notes. I made this up right now. That's why it's so short. I'm sorry. I forget that. Stop. Okay. 2 things can ruin Donald Trump. The economy. Coronavirus is affecting our economy right now. Did China do this on purpose? Some people are saying that they did. We don't know. I'm not even sure I buy all that stuff, but that seems like conspiracy theory. That doesn't mean the conspiracy is untrue. The second thing is Donald Trump talking his garbage, and he's got to stop doing it. Remember we talked yesterday about the pardoning of all those people? I'm sorry, we talked about pardoning of all those people on Monday, because I'm going to publish this on Wednesday. Yeah, Trump's got to stop doing stupid stuff. He's got to stop tweeting. He's just got to be quiet. Let everybody else be crazy. Even if the economy goes into a slight recession or a downturn, because I don't think the country can go into a recession. Well, that's not true, but it could. But I mean, I think it's unlikely. It's heavy. But if the country does go on into a downturn, and he's talking garbage, this is going to look bad for him. There are 2 things that can beat Trump: the economy and Trump. That's it. Democrats have absolutely nothing. Right now, it's looking like Trump's going to win 47 states in this next election. I just wish this next election was day after tomorrow, and it's not. Well, anyway, so you can follow me on Twitter at RunninFool, RUNNINFEWL. You can download and listen to this podcast on Apple Podcasts, Podbean, Podcast Addict, and YouTube. This is Gene, and you've listened to Dumbasses Talking Politics.